scouting trash today. What's up, Sam? Right now we're at the infamous Johnson Mountain Gate, where they shut off the second half of this road that used to go to the fire tower and mountain peak for seemingly no reason that the public knows, and we all wonder why our nice scenic overlook got taken away from us. For what reason? So Sam and I are here in the Enough area, and we're going to try to figure out how we're getting through a couple of these streams. I think we got some walking rocks right here we can get across, but this is the big river coming through, going towards the lake that's right down there, the Council Bluff Lake. So now we got to figure out how we're getting across this thing, and these stepping stones are not spectacular. Let me just see what these rocks are like, man. Not bad, pretty well planted. There you go. Hop, skip, and a jump. It looks like it could have been something, but I'm not certain. If you want, we could walk out to it. I mean, the road, we can tell where the road's at. Let's just go see, because it could possibly have been something. Maybe it's an old foundation. Strange, it's just a bunch of like tree branches and such laying on the ground in one really specific spot. Outside of here, it's pretty cleared back. But right there, dude, there's Johnson Mountain. You can see it up there. Let's see if there is something that existed at one point. That's the Scott home, is somewhere in there. Now we're headed back to the main road. So we're here at the Enough Savannah, what was the former home site of the Walnut Grove Baptist Church. And you can see this is the old Enough Road coming from where the Enough boat ramp is. And then I was told from Linda going this way was the old mail route going to Route DD and what they would also call the Big River Spring. And then right in here should have been the church somewhere. And then this was the continuation of the Enough Road going north, with the Scott homestead going east right here, more so towards the bottom of the lake area, and Johnson Mountain's right there.
I wonder if the road into it was off of that road or if it was off of this road.
I mean, very likely that this little power line track, I mean, might have taken over whatever the road was in front of the church here somewhere. And then we got this Enough Wildlife Habitat Improvement Project, developed and maintained in partnership with National Wild Turkey Federation, Mark Twain National Forest. So we're coming off of the main road here. There's a little offshoot. We're thinking this could be where the cemetery is located. Let's look at Onyx real quick. Well, I mean, that or this could have been where the church was, because we're not really that removed from the church location yet. And this looks like an open spot to have something of the sort. Man, it is definitely warm today, Sam.
Yeah. Take the flannel off weather.
Yes. I mean, I'm already to the point I want to take my hat off weather. But there's definitely what looks like a road further up there. Semi-open hillside. I mean, I wouldn't call this flat by no means. I'd say, Sam, let's get back on the main road, since there isn't anything really showing off. You can see the lake down there in the bottoms. I mean, this is a fantastic view. And here's the road again, right through this little bit of a thicket crossing. Okay, we might have been completely wrong on where the church is. Sam back here is like jaw dropped. I mean, I did too. I said, dude, look. And he looked at it and he was like, dang. This is definitely, I would say it looks more like a church building than I would say a home building, especially with the way that those windows are further up. But then that front opening is just, wow.
Something completely different.
Well, I could see this being a church opening. That would make sense, the way that you could walk up from both sides. And then somebody obviously loves camping here. Watch your step down there. It's a little...
It's a great spot to camp.
Wow. Yeah, it's a great spot because you don't have to worry about the wind just cutting through and killing your fire or... Wow. Amazing.
This looks like it used to be some type of like vent of some sort.
Yeah. And then we have the bottom, I guess, vent underneath what would have been the floor at one point. You can tell they had the joists going through these concrete things and beamed up probably with some of this old concrete that's now the fire ring. Wow.
Some metal. Oh yeah, this is a pipe. You see the threads on it.
Nice. So we just left the main road up the hill from the church, and we think we see a concrete foundation. It might just be a log the more I get closer. Over here, and roughly in this ballpark on this hilltop was supposed to be the school. So we're kind of hopeful that this is a foundation, but it's looking more and more like a tree. Linda will be able to tell me if that was the church or not though. Yeah. But this, yeah, that's just a tree. Well, man, let's go back to that. As you can see, we're just a little bit past it right now on the north side of it. But that looks like something in the hillside down here. What's this? This almost feels like a road right here, man. See how it...
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what she said specifically about. So she was saying it was right, or the old maps, when I would highlight where it put the waypoint for the school, it was right here. But this is obviously not where you would build a school. That might just be the valley bottom, Sam, that I'm seeing through the satellite. And we might just be going on a wild goose chase at this point for the school. I mean, that rock building would seem very possible to be the school because of how small it is. I mean, you don't have a lot of kids in school like you would adults and kids in church. I think what I'm seeing, Sam, is this open valley on the satellite view versus seeing like a foundation or something. Let's just go back to the road. But I'm almost thinking where that rock building is the school itself. Because it just seems, I think it would be a better school building format than a church. So we came off the main intersection where Linda told us that the Baptist church used to be at. That's the one thing that tells me that building we saw up on the mountain or the hilltop was probably the school and not the church, is that the church was at the historic intersection with the mail route road that's right here going to Missouri Route DD. And then she said that the Bombgartner family lived right in this area. She was a little off by about maybe 100 foot or so, but where she marked it on the map, it was just over there, and there is a concrete little like well or something of that nature there, so she wasn't technically wrong. But that said, there's a chimney, foundations. Apparently Sam just found an old fridge. I mean, this homestead is much more intact than a little foundation on the other side.
Is there a fridge or like a cabinet? Fountain?
No, that's totally a fridge, dude.
I'm thinking fridge.
Old lead line fridge.
That's awesome.
Watch out. I mean, this place is just full. I mean, just loads of river rock or the quartz style houses.
Like a drop
Just
right
everywhere around here. That's probably more of a well right here, Sam. I mean, it's full of water, so yep, very cool. And then he was pointing out that building right there, and then the concrete foundation we originally saw was that direction. But then you can see that little rock house or shop of some sort right here with an old tire grown into it. Very cool. And this was probably a food cellar. I mean, there's cans and stuff in it. Hey, Sam, there's a nice entry view right here if you want to see that. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. Oh, sick. I mean, right here is here's another one of the rock houses. Linda and I were kind of talking about these, how when you pour concrete into them, because they're porous, they actually really well take in the concrete and bind to each other. Right there, that's some watercress. So right there, this might be the well, or a spring with a well, because where watercress grows is a spring. So let's go check out down further, like you were saying, Sam, and then we'll see if we can find that cemetery. You can tell they formed that thing up with corrugated tin. A bridge?
Oh, there's a bridge up over, yeah.
She said they destroyed a bridge up here.
Really?
As to kind of get rid of the area, and that looks like a Model T with bridge, but it kind of runs straight into this foundation here, but that's not saying that it couldn't have been.
Garage type thing.
Yeah, it could have been an entryway to a garage, but why would you put it right over this little stream? That's the part that wouldn't make sense to me. So Sam and I were out here just walking around the old Bombgartner homestead, at least what we think is the Bombgartner homestead, and we ran into Danny and Dan. Just happened to walk out here for deer season purposes, which starts tomorrow. We're not ahead of the curve, other than putting our blind up, which is good to get it out as soon as possible. But they said they've been walking around, and back south of us where they're camping is the old Midget homestead, and Mr. Dan here said he found a pear tree at their homestead. And I mean, it
had
first
frozen pears on it.
Yeah, it had frozen pears on it because it just first frosted within the last week or so. It hit a really good 25-degree one.
Down. They were about the size of a racquetball. I'm showing my age if you remember that game.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so they were kind of shrunk, but I cut one open and tasted it. It was sweet, you know.
That's always great when you get a good sweet pear, because most people don't like pears, you know.
Pears.
I love pears because we had a pear tree at my parents' farm, but...
Did you have a partridge? Just kidding.
Ha.
Yeah, so we're from over in High Ridge.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so we came down south, down 21. In fact, where we live, we're about 2 miles from the confluence of the big river and the Merrimack.
Oh, amazing. I interviewed Linda on Monday, and she told me the reason that they flooded this was all that whole project in the 30s into ultimately the 80s of them trying to basically figure out where to dam back water to prevent the Merrimack from flooding. And then here in the last decade, we've seen 141 at 44 go underwater twice, at least, that I know of.
That's, as a crow flies, it's 2 miles from our house.
Right. And it's
just straight through the
right. And it's just, she was saying there's a big push to actually pull back and take down a bunch of dams right now. I don't think we'll see Council Bluff get taken out because it's so
remote,
minor and remote compared to everything else, and really the big river doesn't change.
You'll get a flash flood along this creek here,
right,
once in a while. Of course, it dumps into the lake. Once the lake level goes up, it goes over the spillway,
right,
and heads on north, which is kind of weird.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of an anomaly. Which the Merrimack, where does it intersect? I guess it goes into the Mississippi,
Eureka.
right?
Yeah, it kind of wraps around Arnold, Missouri, and then dumps into the Mississippi there over by Telegraph Road.
Gotcha.
And,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
I guess that's old 231 is what the highway number is, and you know, we've fished in, you know, the big river and the Merrimack for years.
Dan, it was great meeting you.
You too.
I hope to see you again in the future, especially if you love history.
Love it.
Because I'm out here trying to find people that love history, off-roading, camping.
Yeah.
And we also do stewardship cleanups.
Okay. Right.
You guys have a great day.
You too, guys.
Good meeting you,
Take it
Danny.
easy. Have a good one.
Sam.
Sam.